Hey guys, Kinkoman here. Luckily, well, thankfully, I was lucky enough to get to go see a early screening of M. Night's The Visit. I got to see it a couple weeks ago. If this gets uploaded, I took some friends and we went to go see it. And this is my review. This is the first review I've ever put out on YouTube, so bear with me. I'm not like the best critic. I've seen a lot of movies, more than I even own, and I've seen a lot of horror, and so this is my opinion. Take it to heart, take it not to heart. Go see the film yourself if you disagree with anything I say. I know M. Night is kind of a switchy-swatchy subject with directors and writers go, just because of his latest work, but more focused on The Visit. I think this is going to be slightly spoiler-filled, so stop now. There isn't going to be major spoilers or plot spoilers, or I'm not going to spoil any twists that happen. I'm just going to, there's going to be one line that is a slight, very minute spoiler, not even that big. So I'm going to give you a second. Stop the video now, if you want to. Alright, so this film is not what the trailers perceive it to be, and I feel like the trailers are slightly misleading. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The Visit is probably the best work I've seen from him since The Village. It's been a while since I've seen The Village, so I'm having hard to compare. I remember I liked The Village, but I didn't think it was that amazing, and I feel the same way for The Visit. I feel like the twists in the movie, there's twists and turns, and my staples, twists and turns, is very profound. I think it's very good. I didn't see it coming, and I feel like because the trailers are misleading, I think it's actually going to end up hurting itself in the long run. I would not classify this as a horror. I would classify this as a comedic thriller. Yes, right, comedic. It's a comedy. The trailers do not perceive that, so I was a bit disappointed in that aspect. However, the comedy worked. The young boy who's in this movie does an amazing job. He's a brilliant actor, as do the old people. I struggled with reviewing this. Obviously, I saw it a couple weeks ago. I struggled with thinking of how I was going to handle this review for a while, because I couldn't decide. After I got out, I just like, this is a really weird film, and I had to let it sit for a while because I wasn't sure what I thought of it. And I've come out the other end, and I think I liked it. I think it's well paced. The only pacing I have an issue with is at the very beginning. It's kind of slow, building up to go see the grandparents. I thought I think of myself as sort of like a slight detective with these sort of things. Any sort of film, especially mystery or thriller, I try to figure out, and especially in my films, I try to figure out the twist before he drops the twist, and I couldn't figure this out. And Lady in the Water, Devil, all those stuff I didn't really like, and I was against the standard feeling of this film, which was this. I went to the San Diego Comic-Con. In Hall H, they have this thing called Trailer Park. And Trailer Park is sort of like an in-between thing where they set up other things, other panels, and it just shows a bunch of recent trailers. Now, I had seen the trailer for The Visit before this, but a lot of people had not. And when we were watching it, they were like, "Oh, look at this trailer! Oh, yeah, clap, 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 clap! Oh, look at this trailer! Clap, clap!" And The Visit popped up, and it was creepy, and people seemed intrigued. And then some of them got it when it said from the director that brought you The Village and stuff like that on the trailer. Some of them went like, "Oh," and not a lot of people got it. And then it said M. Night, and people were like, "Oh no, it's M. Night!" And I feel like he has such a taint on his name, which is a shame. Obviously, he has produced some negative films, but some poor quality films. I'm not even talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but yeah, he has produced some poor quality films. I don't think this is one of them. I'm not sure what the reviews are like right now, or the Rotten Tomatoes score. I personally don't think it's one of them. I would not say it's a horror film. It did not scare me the slightest. There were a couple jump scares, so if those kind of things get you, then you might jump. But I would say it's a suspense thriller comedy, heavy on the thriller and heavy on the comedy. It didn't run long. Like I said, I felt it was really well paced. Like with any film nowadays. There are a lot of scenes in the trailer that actually weren't included in the film, which is again leading to the bit of the trailer being misleading. And I feel like that's only going to hurt them in the long run. I felt like if they marketed this as a bit of a comedy, I think more people would have gone to see it, because M. Night doesn't really do that many comedies, if at all. I don't think he has anything that's stapled as a comedy, and this is definitely one of them. I think the comedic aspect is great writing. They use a lot of timing jokes, reaction jokes, and so I think it's the best work he's done since The Village, and even might be better than The Village. I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm going to rewatch The Village a little bit later, but yeah, I think this might be M. Night's redemption, if he doesn't screw it up. And I think the screw up might have already happened with the trailers, and I don't think that's his fault. I think that might be the studio's fault. They wanted to market as a more creepy film, and sure, it had its creepy parts, but I would say it's mostly suspense, thriller, comedy. And so I hope that changes some opinions to go see it. This isn't like his other films. I feel, at least the ones I remember seeing. I think this is more original from him. I think one of the biggest flaws with M. Night in general is Sixth Sense. And not that it was a terrible film, it was a brilliant film. I love The Sixth Sense. It was amazing. It's the twist in The Sixth Sense, and you must have all seen it by now. If you haven't, the internet's filled with this joke. Bruce Willis is obviously a ghost. Now, obviously, it was such a profound twist that nobody saw coming. When I watched it the first time, it hit me like a train. I'm like, what do you mean? And yeah, it was. I think from that point on, all of his twists just seemed not to reach what that potential was. And I don't think this reached that, but I think it got pretty close. And I think he handled the writing so well that if this was handled by anyone else other than M. Night, the twist might have been revealed, or they might not even include it. So yeah, I hope it's not spoiler that there's a twist. It's an M. Night film. There's always going to be a twist. But like I said, it's a comedy, thriller, suspense film. It's not a horror. If you're weak-stomached or susceptible to fear a bit more than the general audience, this may startle you or scare you. Like I said, mainly because it does a lot of different boo scares, and there's a lot of disturbing stuff in it. It's a really weird film. It's a freaky film. I don't know. I give it maybe a 7 out of 10. I'd probably say, if I was rating a Rotten Tomatoes score, I'd probably say like a 68 to 70%. I really liked it. I'm going to go see it again. I have some tickets to another early screening on the 8th of September, which is like a week before it comes out. And if my thoughts change after seeing it again, I'll post a little addition to this video. But that's pretty much it. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. People groaned when his name popped up on the trailer, and they seemed interested. They seemed generally at Comic-Con interested in what this trailer was until his name popped up. And I feel like that his name hurts films more than helps at this point, but it can change. And I think the film The Visit is a step in the right direction to changing the negative connotation with his name. However, I know he really wants to do an Avatar: The Last Airbender 2, which I don't think any studio will ever pick up. I don't think who released the first one, I can't remember. I don't think anyone's going to pick that up. I think he wants it, but just because he wants it doesn't mean it's going to happen. No. So hopefully because if he releases that, that's only going to hurt his name further. But I think this is a step in the right direction for him, and I think if you are a fan of his earlier stuff, go see it. Give it a chance. I think he redeems himself a little bit in this, and I think it's different from his other films, but it's interesting enough that it's worth a watch. In the description below, I just did a pickup video. I'll put a link to that, and also I'll put the Rotten Tomatoes score just so you guys know if generally I'm accurate. I don't know if there is one yet, but when there is one, a consensus, I'll put it to see what the critics review. But I feel like critics are always skeptical when it comes to films, and just like Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey you know, they see those names and they think, oh, it's bad, before they see it, and I think that changes things a bit. I would not say this is his star film. This is, you know, going to turn his life around completely, that it's going to make tons of money and suddenly M. Night's a big household, you know, thriller name again. It's not going to be that, but I definitely think it's a step in the right direction. I think the saddest part of this film is the way they handled the press and the prep and the release of those trailers. I think if they handled that a bit better, I think more people would even be more interested to see it. And in fact, maybe if they even dropped off M. Night's name off of it, it might have helped. Yeah, I think it's a good film. Go see it. If you don't value my opinion at all, don't go see it. Wait for the critics. But I have a feeling that I could be terribly wrong, and I might be. But I have a feeling this is a step in the right direction. So that's my opinion on The Visit. It's creepy, suspense, comedy, thriller, not a horror. Trailer misleading, really good twist, well written, and the actor, the little boy actor who's in it, does an amazing job at what he does, and I can't wait to see him in other things. He does a brilliant job. There's a bit about family in it, you know, and obviously because it has to do with grandparents and kids, and there's a family aspect to this film. I don't think necessarily hinders the film, but I don't think helps the film at all. Sort of like the moral to the story thing, but just go check it out. If you are skeptical at all, you know, so most theaters have a cheap $6.25 first showing, or you know, free ticket. There must be some way to go see it. Or wait till it comes out on Blu-ray and rent it. Wait till it's on Netflix. I hope people give this film a shot, regardless of M. Night's tainted name attached to this film, because like I said, I think this could be the Redeemer film. Not the Redeemer film, but the step in the right direction to being redeemed as a name, as a director and as a writer. So M. Night has produced more good films than bad films, and I think people need to remember that when thinking about him, and go see The Visit. Alright, thanks for listening to my little review spiel. I hope it was good. Hope it convinced some of you to go see it. Hope it revealed some things that maybe some of you thought you wanted to go see this film and ended up not being it, and you know, whatever. I'm not a brilliant reviewer, but yeah. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.